Let me ask you something that might surprise you. Did you know that men who ejaculate at least 21 times per month are statistically less likely to develop prostate cancer? Yes, you heard that right. 21. That surprising number comes from a groundbreaking Harvard study involving over 30,000 men, tracked for nearly 2 decades. Researchers found a powerful link. Men who kept a steady pattern of sexual release even well into their 62nd and 72nd had significantly lower risks of prostate cancer compared to those with lower frequency. Now, as someone who spent 39 years working closely with aging male patients, I know how sensitive this topic can be. Many men past 60 quietly wonder, is it still normal? Does it still matter? I've sat across from patients, fathers, even grandfathers who felt embarrassed to even bring it up. But one story stands out. John, a 7-year-old retired engineer. After learning about this data, he made simple changes to his routine. Within months, not only did he feel more energetic, but his next prostate checkup showed improved markers. This isn't about performance, it's about prevention, about reclaiming control over your body with knowledge, not shame. And that's what I'll walk you through today: the science, the stories, and the safe, natural steps every man over 60 deserves to know. Stay with me. What you'll learn next might just add years to your life. Let's pause for a moment and really think about this number 21 times a month. It sounds oddly specific, doesn't it? Not 15, not 30, but 21. When I first read that Harvard study years ago, I had to double-check the data. Could something so personal, so natural, really have such a measurable impact on something as serious as prostate cancer? But there it was, in black and white. Over 30,000 men, observed for nearly 18 years. The men who ejaculated 21 times or more per month had a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who did it less than 7 times a month. And let's be honest, for most men over 60, this probably isn't something you track on a calendar. It's private, quiet, maybe even a bit awkward to think about, especially as the years go by and your energy, drive, and priorities shift. But here's what I've seen time and again in my 39 years as a physician specializing in men's health. When something is left unspoken, it's often left unchecked. And when it comes to your prostate, silence is not your friend. Let me tell you about George. George came to me at 71, retired school principal, proud grandfather of 4. He wasn't there to talk about sex, he came in because of fatigue and lower backaches. After some routine tests, his PSA levels, a common marker for prostate health, were elevated. He was scared. He asked me, "Doc, is this the beginning of the end?" It wasn't. Not yet. But it was a wake-up call. During our conversation, we talked about lifestyle, hormones, diet, and yes, frequency. When I brought up the Harvard study, George laughed, then went quiet. "No one ever told me that," he said. And why would they? Most men are never taught that sexual activity can actually serve a protective function. Not just for pleasure, but for prevention. You see, when a man ejaculates regularly, he's helping clear out potential toxins and reduce cellular inflammation in the prostate. It's like flushing the pipes. That regular release helps maintain circulation, lowers tension in pelvic tissues, and may help balance hormone levels, especially testosterone and DHT, 2 key players in prostate enlargement and cancer risk. It's not about being a stud, it's about being proactive. George made some changes, simple ones, and not just in the bedroom. He started walking every day, cut back on red meat, added more leafy greens and zinc-rich foods to his meals. And yes, he began prioritizing a little intimacy again, not out of obligation, but out of care for himself. 6 months later, his PSA dropped, his energy improved, and maybe most importantly, he felt like himself again. So, I'll ask you this. When was the last time you thought about your own prostate health, not as a problem, but as something you can influence? Because you can, and it starts with understanding the small, often overlooked habits that quietly shape our long-term health. This 21 times number isn't about perfection. It's not a rule book. It's a reminder that your body, even in your 62nd, 72nd, and beyond, still responds to care, rhythm, and connection. In fact, One of the most powerful things you can do as you age isn't just to monitor your health, but to stay engaged with it, to stay curious, to listen when your body whispers before it ever has to scream. And that's what this conversation is about today. Gentle nudges, clear science, real stories. Because when you're equipped with the right information, you're no longer at the mercy of fear, you're in the driver's seat. Let's keep going. Up next, I'll break down exactly why prostate issues tend to ramp up after 60 and what you can do starting this week to keep yours in better shape. So, why 60? Why do so many men, even those who feel strong, active and relatively healthy, suddenly start seeing shifts in their energy, their bathroom habits, and yes, their sexual function, right around that milestone? It's not just about age, it's about biology, subtle changes that sneak in, often unannounced. After 60, the male body enters what I often call the quiet transition. Not as dramatic as a woman's menopause, but no less real. Testosterone levels begin to decline more noticeably. Prostate tissue begins to thicken. The metabolism slows down. Circulation changes. Even the pelvic floor muscles, the unsung heroes of male vitality, lose some of their strength. It's not failure, it's nature. But here's the problem, no one tells you how to read these signs. We brush them off. We call it just getting older, and we carry on. Until one day, we can't. Let me give you a picture I often use with patients. Imagine your prostate like a sponge. In your youth, it's flexible, well hydrated, responsive. But with age, if not cared for, it starts to stiffen, swell, and trap fluid. It presses against the urethra, causing those familiar issues: frequent urination, slow stream, even that frustrating can't go but feel like you have to sensation. Now, remember what we talked about earlier, ejaculation isn't just for pleasure. It's part of the body's natural maintenance system, like rinsing the sponge. It helps prevent buildup, keeps blood flow moving, and may even play a role in reducing cellular mutations, the kind that can lead to cancer. The science is still unfolding, but the trend is clear. Staying sexually active, in whatever way feels right for you, is good for your health. This brings me to something personal. Years ago, I had a patient, David, a widower in his late 62nd, quiet, stoic. He came in for routine checks, but during one visit, he finally opened up. He hadn't been intimate, even with himself, in nearly a decade, not out of dysfunction, but out of guilt. It felt selfish, he said, like something from my old life. What I told David is what I'll tell you now. Your health is not selfish. Reclaiming connection to your body, your rhythm, your pleasure, your vitality is not about indulgence, it's about healing. You're not trying to relive your 32nd, you're trying to thrive in your 62nd and beyond, with the wisdom those younger years never had. That's where the second shift happens mentally. Because once we understand what's happening inside, we stop blaming ourselves for the outside. You're not broken, your body is just adapting, and now you can adapt with it. That means focusing on circulation through gentle exercise, pelvic floor strengthening, staying hydrated. That means reducing inflammation by avoiding processed foods, sugars, and chronic stress. And yes, it means staying engaged sexually, emotionally, relationally. Not every man will hit 21 times a month. That's okay. This isn't about a quota. It's about breaking the silence, breaking the stigma, and realizing that your body still listens when you speak its language. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly checked in with your body, not to judge it, but to support it? When was the last time you saw your pleasure not as a guilty habit, but as a biological gift? Because if you've hit 60, congratulations, you've already defied many odds. Now the question is, how well do you want to live this next chapter? In the next section, we're going to talk about what happens if you ignore these signals, and more importantly, how you can shift your path, no matter where you're starting from. Let me share something I've learned the hard way. Not all problems announce themselves with pain. Some of the most dangerous changes in a man's body begin quietly, slowly, silently. And that's exactly how prostate issues and the consequences of ignoring them tend to creep in. You see, when a man hits 60, there's a fork in the road. On one path, he pays attention, he adapts, he learns what his body needs and makes small, steady changes. The other path? He shrugs off the signs. Maybe it's waking up twice a night to pee. Maybe it's taking longer to start the stream, or feeling like it never quite empties. Maybe it's noticing his desire is fading, and he chalks it up to just age. But let me ask you, how many times have you said, "It's not a big deal," only to realize months later it was? I remember Robert, 64, retired firefighter, tough as nails, came into my clinic because his wife insisted. He was irritable, tired, and avoiding intimacy. His words, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." Tests showed early-stage prostate enlargement, hormone imbalance, and inflammation. Nothing irreversible, but if we hadn't caught it when we did, it could have led to serious complications. And here's the part most men don't realize. If left untreated, chronic prostate issues can lead to more than just discomfort. They can cause urinary retention where you physically can't empty your bladder. That may mean catheters, infections, or even surgery. They can cause erectile dysfunction not from lack of interest, but from poor blood flow, nerve sensitivity loss, or psychological fatigue. They can contribute to chronic fatigue, mood swings, even depression, because when your hormones are out of balance, your brain chemistry follows. The connection between low testosterone and mood is very real. And yes, the biggest risk of all, they can increase the odds of developing prostate cancer, a disease that often hides for years before showing symptoms, and when it does, it's usually in the later stages. But I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this so you can stop living in fear of the unknown. Because what's far more frightening than facing the truth is ignoring it. Here's something to think about. When you avoid something out of discomfort, you're not actually making it go away, you're just giving it more time to grow roots. But here's the good news. Prostate issues, especially in the early stages, are incredibly responsive to lifestyle changes. That means you have more power than you've been told. Power to lower inflammation with your diet. Power to balance your hormones through sleep, movement, and smart supplementation. Power to support your body through small, intentional acts, including regular sexual activity, which now we know isn't just about pleasure, it's about prevention. So the next time you find yourself brushing off a symptom, ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? Because your body doesn't send random messages. Every signal has meaning. And sometimes, the smallest signals, the late-night bathroom runs, the quiet drop in desire, the sense that something's off, are the ones that deserve your full attention. You deserve to age with clarity, not confusion. You deserve a body that supports you, not one you have to fight against. And that starts by listening now, before the whispers turn into alarms. In the next part, we'll explore what you can actually do, the daily shifts, the foods, the habits, the mindset, to take back your health and feel like yourself again. You'll be surprised how simple it can be. All right. So now that we know what's at stake, let's talk about what you can actually do. Because I want you to hear this loud and clear. There is so much within your control. This isn't about expensive treatments or overwhelming regimens. I'm not here to sell you a miracle pill. What I'm here to do is walk you through the real-world steps I've given to hundreds of men just like you who wanted to feel better, age stronger, and protect their most vital systems without sacrificing joy. Let's start with the foundation: circulation. Healthy blood flow is everything for your heart, your brain, and yes, your prostate and sexual function. The prostate is surrounded by tiny blood vessels. When circulation is poor from sitting too long, poor diet, or lack of movement, the tissues around it become inflamed, stiff, and less responsive. So, what can you do? Move your body. Even 20-30 minutes of walking a day makes a difference. One of my patients, Alan, a 6-8-year-old former trucker, started a simple routine of walking laps around his neighborhood every morning. After 3 months, his nighttime urination cut in half, and he said he finally felt human again. Now let's talk nutrition. The prostate loves foods that reduce inflammation. Think berries, tomatoes, especially cooked lycopene becomes more bioavailable. Green tea, broccoli, pumpkin seeds, fatty fish like salmon. These are your natural protectors. On the flip side, the enemies? Processed meats, sugar, fried foods, and alcohol in excess. They inflame your gut and your gland. A simple tip I give my patients: aim for half your plate to be vegetables at lunch and dinner. It's not a diet, it's fuel. What about hydration? Strange as it sounds, many older men avoid drinking water because they don't want to run to the bathroom too often. But this backfires. Dehydration makes your urine more concentrated, irritating the bladder and increasing urgency. Start your day with a tall glass of water. Keep a bottle nearby. Your prostate needs that flow. Now let's address the 21 times idea again. Remember, this is not about performance. It's about maintenance. Whether through intimacy with a partner or through solo release, regular ejaculation can help flush out old fluids and maintain hormonal balance. If that number feels intimidating, forget it. Don't chase a number. Just stay connected to your body. Make room for pleasure, for touch, for that little spark that reminds you you're still alive. And while we're here, let's not forget stress. Chronic stress throws your hormones out of whack. It increases cortisol, which reduces testosterone, increases inflammation, and disrupts sleep, a deadly trio for your prostate. So what can you do? Breathe. Literally, deep breathing 5 minutes a day. I recommend box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. It calms your nervous system and centers your mind. Add to that moments of joy, connection, time in nature, laughter. You weren't born just to work and worry. Lastly, get checked. Don't avoid your doctor out of fear. Early detection is not a curse, it's a gift. Regular PSA testing, a simple digital rectal exam, these aren't signs of weakness. They're signs that you care enough to stick around for your grandchildren's weddings. So let's recap. Move your body even a little every day. Eat real, colorful food. Stay hydrated. Don't fear intimacy. Embrace it as a part of your health. Lower stress with breath, rest, and joy. Get regular checkups, even if you feel fine. You don't have to overhaul your life. Just start small. Take one step, just one today, because one small shift, done consistently, beats 1,000 good intentions you never act on. Next, I'll help you tie it all together, the science, the stories, the small wins into one simple truth. You're not broken. You're ready for a new chapter. Let's finish strong. So let's take a breath here. If you've made it this far, really taken in what we've shared, then I want you to know something. You've already started changing. Because change doesn't begin with a doctor's visit or a bottle of supplements. It begins with awareness, with that flicker of curiosity inside you that says, maybe there's more for me. Let's zoom out for a moment. This whole conversation about 21 times a month, about hormones, prostate health, circulation, intimacy, it's not really about numbers or even symptoms. It's about staying connected to your body, to your energy, to your sense of agency, to the quiet truth that you are still here, still capable, still powerful, still worthy of joy. So what's the takeaway? It's this. Your health is not gone, it's just waiting for the right support. Your blood flow isn't broken, it needs movement. Your hormones aren't shutting down, they're asking for balance. Your nervous system isn't aging out, it's responding to the pressure, the habits, the silence. You are not broken. Let me say that again. You are not broken. You've simply been missing the tools. And now, you have them. Let's bring it all together. Blood flow, walk, move, stretch. Hormones sleep, breathe, reduce sugar, reconnect. Nerves lower stress, laugh, hydrate, touch. Every little act you take now is a vote for your future. And don't underestimate the power of pleasure as medicine. Whether it's with a partner or alone, that regular connection to your sexual energy is not a luxury. It's a vital part of how your body detoxes, heals, and stays youthful, not just physically, but emotionally, too. This doesn't mean you need to chase youth. You're not meant to be 30 again. But you can feel alive again. Because what matters isn't how many candles are on your cake, it's how much fire is still in your spirit. So, I'll leave you with 2 simple actions you can take today. 1. Drink a full glass of water and go for a 10-minute walk. That's it. Start the engine. 2. Reclaim your right to pleasure with curiosity, not guilt. Your body will thank you. And if this message spoke to you, I invite you to leave a comment, share your thoughts, ask a question, or simply say, "I'm starting today." Because someone else might read your words and realize they're not alone. If this video helped you, please like, share it with a friend, and subscribe. Not for me, but for the next man who needs to hear this. You are not done. You are just getting started. And I'll be right here cheering you on every step of the way. So now you know the number 21 isn't just some strange statistic. It's a symbol, a reminder that even the most private parts of our lives are deeply connected to our health, our longevity, and our joy. You've learned that prostate health isn't just about avoiding disease. It's about reclaiming your energy, honoring your body, and giving yourself permission to age with purpose. Because no matter your age, you still have a say. You still have time. You still have you. And if this message meant something to you, if it opened your eyes, or simply made you feel seen, then I want to personally invite you to join me here, on this channel, Sit Here with Teenager. This is a space where generations meet, where wisdom from the past and curiosity from the present sit side by side. A place where we talk honestly about health, aging, manhood, and the simple truths no one teaches us growing up. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe. Leave a comment, tell me what you're taking away from today, and share this with a friend who might need to hear it too. Your next chapter starts now. Let's walk it together. I'm Dr. Benjamin Cross. Thank you for spending this time with me. And as always, stay curious, stay kind, and keep showing up for yourself.